If I can get y'all here now. Welcome back, family. We had to restart this thing because hopefully it's back. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully y'all can come on and hear me this time, which sucks. We really just getting started. Let me know when y'all make it into the spot. Let me know when y'all make it in, okay? We were just talking about Shannon Sharp, okay? Yes. Okay, we're back. And okay, we say I am infinite being, say we bike. We bike. Okay, good. Good. All right, awesome. Hopefully everybody makes it back. Listen, I just want y'all to know how powerful this energy was, right? All of us can have a Shannon Sharp moment, right? Where things get interesting, right? You know, certain movements that are happening astrologically and spiritually and energetically that can appear to look not the way you ideally would want something to happen, but it actually serves your highest good, right? So like astrologically for me, I have all of these planetary alignments and movements right now that I was just like hesitant about recently, where I was just like, okay, what's going on? There's a lot going on. But I was able to take that information and make something so beautiful. And I can't wait to share with y'all more about these revelations that I just have had recently. I cannot wait to share stuff with y'all because, man, it's just been so deep. So let me tell y'all this too. I want y'all to do this for me. Do it for yourselves. I want y'all to go and look at what was happening in your life around this same time of year, 2016, 2017. Okay? 2016, 2017. Let me tell y'all, show y'all how powerful this is. 2016, Dream and I had our first child. He was born in 2016. And that was an initiation within itself because, you know, whenever you have children, it changes you forever. And so obviously we were changed. We were different. We were not the same people that we are. And in fact, each time we've had a child, we've changed more and more because that's just the process of life. That's just the cycle of life, right? But when we had our firstborn, we were featured in a magazine. Not a magazine. We were featured in the Houston Chronicle, right? Which is the Houston newspapers. The Houston newspaper. And Dream, myself, our baby, and our midwife, they did a feature on us where they followed us. And now that I think about it, y'all, it was so crazy. But it just reminds me and it just shows me that Dream and I were meant, Dream, myself, and our son were meant to be, you know, in the public eye, right? So in 2016 or end of 2015, the Houston Chronicle came to me, my midwife, and Dream, and they were like, hey, we want to follow y'all's birth story because, you know, having babies at home or having babies at a birth center, that's just, the world has just changed and so many people are vouching for having children in the hospital. And so the Houston Chronicle came up to us and they followed our story for a few months, y'all. Okay, so we had this little white lady. Her name was Kathy. Her name was Kathy. I want to say her name was Kathy. Now that's crazy now that I think about it. Spirit is making other connections for me. I believe her name was Kathy. Baby, Babe, I don't know if you can reflect on that and tell me if that was right, but for some reason I want to say her name was Kathy, even though our last midwife name was Kathy too. Okay. And then the guy, so Kathy was the writer. She was the old little white lady who clearly was coming into the equation with biases. She did not come into the equation with the understanding, with the thought process of having a baby at home. Oh, Dream, you don't think so? I don't know why I think so. I swear I need to go and relook at the story. I'm going to go and find the story and see if that was her name, because for some reason I want to say that's her name, but maybe that's just me, you know, being funny. Man, what was it? I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, look it up, baby. Look it up. But so she came into the equation biased because, you know, she's an older white lady. She was probably like in her late 60s, early 70s maybe when she was writing this story on us. And then the photographer was a Spanish man, maybe in his 40s. And they followed us around for months, right? So they came to some of our prenatal visits. They came to our baby shower. And then they were obviously at the birth. And when Dream and I first agreed to it, we didn't really know what we were signing up for, right? We thought that they were going to really honor the midwifery experience, right? We thought that they were going to really see the beauty in it, which the photographer captured the beauty in it. The photographer, every picture that he took was sacred, right? But the writer, the Karen mental space, right, caused her to not write a genuine and authentic piece on our story. She took it in the direction of, I know what she highlighted, right? Now let me show y'all how crazy this is. Oh, her name was Claudia. So I was close. I knew it was a C. I knew it was a C. I knew it had a C in it. It was Claudia, not Kathy. Close, though. Okay? She had the Karen type energy, right? And this was before the Karen kind of thing started to trend, that type of title for specific types of white women. Our choosing to be on display, right? Showing our pregnancy, showing our birth, showing this beautiful process of midwifery. Us making that decision was to show the power of men and women coming together as one, the power of owning your birth, the power that we have as women to deliver our children at home, right? The sacredness of divine union, the sacredness of birth, the spiritual portal that opens up whenever you give birth. That is what we wanted to be on full display. But of course, in our naivety, of course, that couldn't be the message. That couldn't be the message. How could that be the message? How could that be the message? We know the world we live in, right? We live in a world that thinks that pregnancy is a disease or a sickness, right? Or it makes women weak when actually it makes them strong. We live in a world that is based around don't heal yourself, don't learn about herbs and such. Don't take your wholeness, your health, and well-being into your own hands. You have to go to the doctor. You have to go to the hospital, right? In fact, when Dream and I even decided that we were going to use a midwife, our families were like, what? A midwife? I'm pretty even sure that with these last 2 births that we had, where the babies were born in the hospital, people, our family and even people closest to us probably thought that was the best thing. Even though we knew and still believe in the power of delivering your baby where you made that baby. Delivering your baby where you made that baby. And owning and having such oneness with your body that you can do whatever, right? So when she wrote the story, Miss Claudia Feldman, when she wrote the story, she wrote from the perspective of Dream and I not being married. She wrote from the perspective of how insurance, right? If you don't have the right insurance, people usually pay out of pocket and go with a midwife, which was such a lie because both Dream and I were teachers. We had insurance. We had the best insurance that being a full-time government employee, because when you work for the public school system, you are technically a government employee. We had insurance that could afford us to work with whatever doctor we wanted to work with. We chose a midwife on purpose. We chose a midwife because we wanted to honor the sacredness and the sanctity of us giving birth to our beloved child. But so she wrote it from that perspective. She wrote it from unmarried couple, grew up impoverished in the hood, choosing to deliver their baby with a midwife. Oh my God. At that point, we were so disappointed in how she told our story, because she didn't tell our story. She told the story that white America wants to read. Oh my God. She told the story that white America wants to read. Here's the full circle moment though. Last night, and this is a part of why I went live, because I want y'all to understand how things come back around. This is why I asked you, reflect on what was happening in your life 2016, 2017. Because we have the same planetary alignments right now. The Pisces full moon with the lunar eclipse was happening the same way in 2016 and 2017. Right? And celestial earth goddess, so true. So true. She wanted to see us in the way she wanted to see us. Right? She wanted to frame it. What you just said, celestial earth goddess, right? She was probably mad it wasn't the way she portrayed it. Absolutely facts. Our birth of our firstborn was so beautiful, was so magical, and it was such a journey. It was such a journey. We got to our midwife at 6 o'clock in the morning. He wasn't born until 5 p.m. So for 12 hours, we were in the throes of labor and delivery. For 12 hours, we were, oh my God, we had so much beautiful moments. So we had moments where Dream, myself, my best friend who was there, and our midwife, we're walking up and down 3rd Ward, Houston, Texas, walking up and down the street in this beautiful, predominantly black area, trying to walk this baby out. We had moments where Dream and I, matter of fact, for the Patreon family, I'm going to drop some of our pictures in the Patreon, in the chat, so that y'all can look at them, because it was such a beautiful experience, right? We have pictures that were taken of Dream and I in the tub together. He's behind me in the tub. I'm laying back on him. He's holding my stomach and he's so focused. We have moments in the tub where I'm leaning over the tub and he's massaging my back and my midwife is fanning me. Beautiful, magical moments. We have pictures where Dream and I are dancing, literally. I'm in labor in the throes of contractions, and I have my arms around his neck. He has his arms around my waist, and we're just rocking back and forth. And you can just see that we are having this mystical, spiritual, intense experience. And then the most beautiful moment, my legs are cocked back. Dream is holding one leg. My mama is holding the other leg. And I'm like, trying to push this baby out. We have that moment. And my midwife, right? The photographer, this guy was a gem. But he's a man of color. He's a Spanish man. So he understood a little bit more. So he got the picture of Dream holding one leg, my mom holding one leg, my midwife ready to catch, and then me pushing, right? And then he has the moment where I have KJ on my chest and Dream is looking at him, my mom is looking at him. And then he got another very precious moment where KJ's eyes are open and Dream and him are looking at each other like, oh my God, look at this little alien baby we just birthed. So and then the fact that whenever she's interviewing us and she's asking us questions, I'm like, my grandmother was born under a tree, literally. My grandmother, who is still alive and well today, who I've been taking care of, doing her hair, taking her to appointments, taking her to go get her hair done. I mean, everything. Me and my grandmother have been, for the entire year, my grandmother and I have been together, doing different things together. At least once or twice a month, I'm picking her up and we're going somewhere. She was literally born underneath a tree in a small country town on her family's land. Literally, her mother gave birth to her under a tree 70-something years ago. And so a part of our story was, I was telling her, like, my grandmother was born outside of a hospital. Like, I got that type of blood inside of me. We all do. I got my great-grandmother inside of me who pushed out 13 children. My great-grandmother had 13 children. And you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to be afraid of birth? And that I'm supposed to rely on someone outside of myself to tell me how to do something that I was born to do? Something that I was made to do? So hearing that, especially in a society where Black people have been programmed to think less of themselves. It just is what it is. Black people, as a society, literally, have been trained to not believe in yourself, right? Where naturally we have that, but because of that program of don't look too good, don't be too great, don't be seen, right? Because if you smile too hard at this Karen lady, she may have you arrested, right? If you shine too bright in comparison to this white child, his parents might want to do something to you because you outshining their son. So that type of programming has been ingrained over the years. And so now this white lady who still has her own programming, because being the age that she is, at one point in time, there were certain restrictions that she too had, right? So seeing us be in our power, it was offensive to her. Seeing us know who we are, right? Stand firm on who we are, honor the people that came before us, that was offensive. And she was not going to let that story be told. But here's the full circle moment. Last night, before I go to bed, I tend to check my emails and just see if I missed anything important throughout the day. Now, this was so crazy because I was at the volleyball school yesterday and the news came to the volleyball school. And so I'm coaching, I'm doing my thing, and I'm seeing the cameras, right? They're going around with the cameras. And again, it was a Spanish man that was recording our practices. And immediately I thought about, man, 8 years ago, Houston Chronicle, which is a news type thing, just written form. 8 years ago, Houston Chronicle was recording us and following us on the delivery of our son. This was at the volleyball school while I'm coaching yesterday. I had that thought. And the guy who was recording looked very similar to the photographer that we had 8 years ago delivering KJ. And so I just found that so interesting, but it gets deeper. So they're done doing their thing. And I go home, I take my shower, Dream and I are in the bed, we're about to go to bed, and I check my email. And guess who I have an email from? the photographer from the Houston Chronicle. And he messages me and he says, this is so deep. There's like emotion coming up because I haven't had the chance to fully process what's happening. But it's so powerful and it's so much deeper than I even realize. And as I'm talking about it, it's coming like online full circle. So he emails me and he says, hey Desiree, how are y'all doing? I was reached out to by somebody who is about to do a museum installation at the Smithsonian Copper Hewitt Museum in Manhattan, New York. She wants to know if she could use the picture of you, Dream, and Afua in the museum. Huh? So I had to reread it. And I had to read the email that the lady sent. She says, hey, Gary, I'm reaching out to you and the people in this photo to see if I could use it on a large scale for an installation I'm going to be doing at the Copper Hewitt Museum in Manhattan, New York, to display the power of birthing centers. And so immediately Dream is dozing off. He's snoring. I'm like, babe, we just received an email asking if we would allow the Copper Hewitt Museum in Manhattan, New York, to use our picture in an exhibit. And I'm just so, that Pisces full moon and lunar eclipse that also happened in 2016, 2017 is coming full circle today. Same energy, same time. So I emailed Gary back. One, I told him, first of all, this is a powerful way to honor the life and legacy of our midwife. She passed away in 2021. She passed away. And it's so special because she literally is a historical marker, right? She is history in like real life, right? You ever met somebody that deserves to go down in history? I have. It's her. She literally deserves to go down in history. And I say that because for many years, she was the only Black-owned, operated midwife in Houston, Texas, who owned her own birthing center. All brick birthing center. The building that she delivered thousands of babies in is worth close to $1 million, if not $1 million today. The building itself. Because it's in 3rd Ward, Houston, which from her building, where 2 of our children were born, from her building, from the front door, you can look and see all of downtown Houston. And then it's all brick. It's a 3-story home before 3-story homes started being built. And she delivered thousands of babies. And here's the thing. When I was working with her, I felt called to go through the process to make her building a historical marker, right? To make certain places a historical marker, all you have to do is put in for it at the beginning of the year. You have to give kind of like a dissertation of the building, why it's so important, what happened there, whatever. And I felt convicted in my heart to do that for her building, and I still need to do it. But so much, life stuff has happened, right? She passed away 2021 after we told her we were going to be pregnant. Matter of fact, so she passed away on Mother's Day. She's the ultimate great mother. Just from how many babies that she birthed, how many mothers she supported on their journey to motherhood. But I always wanted to turn her building into a historical marker to where when people, they can never sell that building to some gentrification person who wants to turn it into like a bed and breakfast or something. So I got to do that. But I just thought to myself, this is such a powerful way to honor her life and legacy. And the icing on top of the cake is that Afua was born. First of all, how good it is. How good it is. Her birthday is the day before KJ's birthday. So the day in 2016, the day before we birthed our child, we were celebrating her birthday. Beautiful. She was actually born and raised in Connecticut, which is a jump, hop, skip, and away from New York. And I just think it's just such a beautiful thing. So I told the guy, I emailed him back. I said, we are willing to do it under a few conditions. First of all, I had to tell him that Afua passed away some years back. But then again, I also had to tell him, okay, one, the narrative, and this is what, it gets tricky because we've been here before, 8 years ago. It's a full circle moment. So I had to tell him, I need to speak directly to the woman who is being commissioned to put our picture in her installation. I need to talk to her. Because I need to make sure that the idea, the narrative, and the story, what she is wanting people to perceive from the picture, needs to be authentic to our experience. It needs to align divinely with what it was supposed to be in 2016. In 2016, it was a story of divine sovereignty. It was a story of ownership. It was a story of mother and father coming together in love and holding space for one another and birthing their children. That was the story. And if that's not going to be her story, if that's not what she wants to portray, then she can't use the image. Because she did not, Claudia, in 2016, didn't tell our story properly. But now, the story gets to be told properly. If you want to use it, make it right. And I believe that the woman will. I believe that she will. I went and did full research on the woman who's doing it. It's another white woman. No problem. No problem. But tell the story correct. This woman is, she's a professor at Syracuse University. She's a professor at Syracuse, and she's an architect. And what she wants to talk about, 1111, what she wants to display is the power of home. That's her installation, what it means to be home. And it's a double entendre, because the womb is the home of a child, of a baby, right? The womb is a home of a baby. But also speaking to being born at home, being born in your home, the level of safety, security, and the healthy attachment that creates for the child. So that's a little bit about the story. The woman is a feminist. right? She's a feminist architect, and she's done a lot of work. And it's so interesting, y'all. The installation is going to be going up in the Copper Hewitt Museum, and it is the Copper Hewitt Museum in New York is the home of Andrew Carnegie. Do y'all know who Andrew Carnegie is? I had to go and do research after I read up on this. Do y'all know who that is? Let me know in the comments. Supposedly, he was one of the wealthiest men in the 19th and early 20th century in America. And he was so wealthy because he was a steel developer. He was a steel developer. And him and his wife built a mansion, a 64-bedroom mansion in Manhattan, New York. And Dream and I are going to have to travel to New York. The installation is supposed to be up from November 2nd to summer 2025. So we got some time to get there. We got a plan. We got some time to get there. Yes, Bob Proctor talked about Andrew all the time. Wow. Look at that. So you know what I take all of this to mean for us is that there's a greater level of abundance that's coming through for our family because we deserve it. I can't even. That's what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. In the sense of, I almost let all of these planetary alignments and the narrative that people spew about, oh, eclipses are like scary, or this or that. I literally chose that this space and time was going to be the best space and time for me in my life. Great transformation, great manifestation. I literally made the decision that that's what it was going to be. And then I get that email. Such a powerful one. I read something that said Andrew Carnegie believed that wealth should be shared with everybody. One of his narratives was the gospel of wealth. The gospel of wealth was a term that he coined, essentially, where his focus was, if you are rich, if you are wealthy, it is your responsibility to give it back, literally. So, and here's the thing, where the installation is going to be, he built his home in 1902, 90 years before I was born. The home was built. And in his transition, he decided that as a way of him giving back for education, for abundance, for fortune, for all of those things, as a form of him giving back, his mansion, literally a mansion, his mansion could be used now to house things that were going to lead to culture, creativity, information, education, philanthropy. Talk about a full circle moment. Talk about using the planets for what best serves you. So I just wanted to say to y'all and just tell y'all that, like, no matter what people, astrologers, horoscopes, all of that stuff is meant to serve you. You are the one that is that divinely connected to God. You are the one, you have sovereignty over everything. And the more we are intentional about our connection to Source, our connection to the Most High, our connection to that divine supreme power, we get connected to that energy through being intentional about that relationship. See, the issue with religiosity and theology, the issue is religion. Okay? The issue is, see, when people start to say, oh, my sun is this and my moon is this and my this, and Dream has been saying this for forever to me, but it was just always so interesting to me. But when we are in a space of saying, this is controlling me, this is forcing my reality, this is making this happen, we have literally created an idol. We have literally created a false God. We've placed that false God before the one true and living God, the Christ that really dwells inside of us. These 12 disciples, we are supposed to discipline. We are supposed to understand. But the ultimate understanding is knowing that God dwells within. And we have a voice. We have a voice. We have a divine mind. We have a calling. We have order. We can bring order to the chaos of those things if we simply choose to do so. Exactly. Lindsay says, we are meant to evolve beyond the limitations of our charts. Exactly. The same exact way we were meant to evolve beyond the limitations of religion. What a lot of people aren't understanding in religion is that you have to come to know God for yourself. Right? The same divine mind that dwelled inside of Jesus Christ also dwells in you. And the whole goal was to awaken that inside of ourselves. Right? That's why in the Bible, Jesus says, you shall do more than what I have done. I'm paraphrasing. Y'all know the words. Right? When they ask the question, where does God dwell? Right? You are a temple for the divine. So I just kind of realized for myself that, we can get too caught up in all of this planetary movements. Right? And not pay attention to the ebb and flow that we are. The ebb and flow that is us. The waning and the waxing that is us. The new moon that is active inside of us. When we are feeling inspired, when we're feeling inspirational, right? When we are wanting to start something new and take action, that's a new moon in you. When we're able to see the manifestation, when we're able to see the awakening of those things, that's a full moon in you. Right? Whenever you are having dreams and aspirations, you're able to see how your subconscious mind is revealing itself. That's the Pisces in you. When you are orderly, when you are tapped into your beauty, into your magic, your creativity, that's the Virgo in you. When you are being a leader and you are standing up for what's right and you got your crown on and you are in your royalty, that's the Leo in you. When you are grounded, when you are standing at the top of that mountain, okay? When you are ready to go upward and onward, that's the Capricorn in you. When you are in your warrior spirit and you're ready to fight for what is right. When you are standing your ground and you're not letting nothing in this life move you or push you, that's the Aries in you. Do we understand? These are the revelations that have come to me through this alignment. And I'm so excited to honor that and appreciate that and let this be a new way of living and being and honoring ourselves and honoring God that is in you and all around you and in all things, and understanding that the ultimate goal is recognizing that. The ultimate goal is honoring that. The ultimate goal and reason for being here is understanding that we are sovereign and that we don't have to be tied down, bogged down, burdened by anything. We get to use everything, right? We get to use everything. One, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? That Christ consciousness, the 13. Once you have evolved beyond all the limitations, there's nothing you can't do. All things work together for those who? All things are working together for you, for me, as we love ourselves and we love that divine aspect of ourselves. All things are supporting our well-being and our growth. Okay? We're going to continue to talk more about this over the next couple of weeks because there's more that has come through, more revelations that have come through, and I'm still sorting and sifting, through all of the things. And I just wanted to share with y'all that you can have a full circle moment that goes beyond like your greatest expectations. I thought about the photographer who took our pictures in the Houston Chronicle, but I didn't. How did this man end up in my email last night? That ain't nothing but God. I couldn't but Desiree, D-Ray, the logic and reasoning side of me could not come up with that at all. But I've surrendered that my life has to be the best. I've just surrendered that greatness is mine. I've just surrendered that I am loved on the deepest level. Like no matter what is showing up in my life, I am so loved. And because I'm so loved, things just have to work out, and they do. And they always do. Okay. I hope that this message really reaches you where you are and helps you to just know, right? Be still and know. Be still and know. I don't care what the past has looked like. I don't care what the challenges have been today. Be still and know. It's working for your good. It really, really is. Okay? Patreon family, yeah, stay on the lookout for those pictures. I'm going to post some. I'm going to post some in our Patreon chat because I want y'all to see it because it was so beautiful. And then as things get finalized with this, now, the lady still got to make sure that she's going to do it right? She still got to make sure she's going to do it right. And if we are in alignment, right, if it aligns, her vision, she is working with a Black midwife out of Alabama. So I think she is on par for what she wants to display in this museum. If so, I'm going to start looking at flights, flights to New York for our entire tribe, because that would just be a great vacation. I would not want to go in the winter. So we'll talk about it. Okay. We'll talk about it, but it may be a fun thing for all of us to meet in New York. Okay. Peace and love, family. Y'all enjoy this lovely Thursday. Bye.